Today's story is the great battle between a righteous knight and the wicked Thrinaudie.
This is Sandman1MT and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, hit that like and subscribe and we'll get right down to it. Today, we're going to be pulling for Cartethiya and her weapon if possible, without doing any top-offs because I'm between paychecks. So what I get is what I get. However, there's a big problem that people are not mentioning that Cartethiya has in her kit when you're playing her that I'm going to go ahead and showcase a little bit later on and everything else let you guys know about. However, before we get on to that, I'm letting you know that I'm already 53 pulls into this current banner from the previous one, so that's what my pity is. That's pretty much what I'll do in most of my videos, be almost 40 to 53 pulls in. Because if I really like a character, I always go for an extra sequence, and if I can get them an extra sequence on them in 40 or 50 pulls, I consider it a win. Even if you go ahead and lose, you still go ahead and you're guaranteed the next character then. And what makes that great is Wuwa's pretty darn generous when it comes to giving their asteroids. As long as you do your dailies, offs, and maybe get yourself a monthly pass, you'll definitely have enough probably for the next character. In worst case scenario, you can always add a battle pass as well, which will go ahead and give you supplies to build your characters as well as give you some extra asteroids and pulling power for a little later on for your weapons as well. And as always, I cut the app if I do go ahead and get the character. I did go ahead and pull for Chakona and got her S0 from the earlier banner as mentioned, and I do have her weapon to go ahead and make Cartethiya best in slot, and I have an S3 Verena to work as a healer and an energy battery for both of them as well. And this is right around pull 70 we're getting into right now. And it turned gold and I did get her.
The crown of winds has been engulfed by the sea. Tell me, are you the one who summoned this blade?
So this is an S0 that I have, and wait, it turned gold again. This makes it back to back. I got her in. This is right around 73 pulls in together to get her S1 from my previous banner of my pities and to now. This is like my 6th or 7th back-to-back on my account for my characters. I've been very fortunate on my account. Probably one of the reasons I don't live stream. I don't think I want to share my fortune. I'm a little bit greedy and selfish with that, I guess. So some have called me greedy and selfish in the comment section, so sometimes it pays off, I guess. So I do have her S1, and I still do need to go ahead and get her weapon. And as always, like no one goes ahead and keeps pulling after they go ahead and get their weapon. It's kind of like losing something and after find it and continue looking for it. So I got maybe 2 or 3 pity built in from the last one. So this is my 10 pull right here. And I do want to go ahead and get her weapon and everything else because I plan on building her traditionally with a 4 cost crit rate piece and getting 2 arrow damage and 2 HP pieces. So I'm going to probably do the traditional build with her. And the sword will definitely go ahead and help with that. And it looks pretty decent. I think it's got pretty good drip art. And this is only 20 pulls into it. So I did manage to go ahead and get the sword real early. So I can't go and complain. So this is an S1 Cartethiya along with her weapon for right around total pulls, I believe around 93 pulls altogether to go ahead and get her S1 and her weapon. So this has turned out really well. It pulled in towards the tail end. Drip art's kind of nice. I think Chakona's weapon looked a little better. And I think even I like Zani's weapon better as well, but this one's pretty nice. And I think it matches really well with the character, so no complaints here. And I got a little extra asteroids and coral to go ahead and save up for my next character. I may go ahead and pull for Lupa, but we'll go ahead and see how that happens. And I also now got an extra sword to go ahead and give to one of my 4-star characters. And it took me almost 73 or 74 pulls to get that, so nothing too exciting there. But she has some amazing drip art. This is what she looks out in the open world, along with her teammates' shadows following her up and around. I'm very pleased with how this character pull has turned out for me on right now. And as you can tell, here I'm in the screen and everything is. This is her S1. It does manage to go ahead and give her some extra attack and erosion with it, and it stacks up for her. But the main reason I wanted to go ahead and get this one in particular was because I wanted the extra crit damage, which stacks up to 4 times, giving her an extra 100%. So even though I'm at 195 crit damage, let's say, it's going to be 295, which is going to be massive. If I go ahead and get lucky off banner, pulling for some other ones like I generally do, I wouldn't mind having her S2, and I'd probably have enough curl at that point to even force it over to S3. Well, I'll just have to see how that goes. This is the part of the video where I've already got her built. Now, this is what I've managed to accomplish in about 12 hours. I did do some pre-farming in the last week and a half or so, and there is enough materials out in the open world to actually go ahead and fully ascend her for gathering the flowers, unlike the problem I had with Cartethiya. So that was a nice change of pace. As you can tell and stuff, she's sitting at 66% crit rate, but with the extra damage bonus that she goes ahead and gets from the Echo set, it brings her crit rate up to 76%. So she has enough crit rate. Her crit damage is sitting at a nice 195, and with her S1, it does bring it up to a total of actually 295. So she is actually completely built. I will go ahead and try for a little more energy because she is only sitting at 108, and I only got one piece that managed to go ahead and get energy on her. So she is a little bit shy on that, but since I do have an S3 Verena, it does make up for that. And I do have Chacona, and she does have her signature weapon. So it's going to be a pretty darn strong team, and probably one of my best in slots, unless you go ahead and you count my S6 Cartethiya and my S6 Brant and my S4 Cartethiya. Well, those will be my house cleaners. However, I probably will go ahead and try out a different Echo set with at least a crit damage and see what that does any difference. But it might be a while because I want to go ahead and build up some of my other characters like my Baiji and maybe my Rover as well for my Zani team. However, I think this is going to be a really strong team. Like I said, it's not my S6 team, but as a common one that other viewers can go and relate to and have a little more fun and challenge with. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this team. Like I said, I do want to go for her S2, and I do also want to go ahead and maybe even go for her S3 if I get enough coral from that. However, I think getting Lupa might be a little more important than that. We'll just have to go ahead and see. Now, this is the part where I mentioned where she has that problem with her power. Now, the problem is that she actually is so powerful that when she fights in domains like this, when you use a portal, that she resets. So she doesn't even get a chance to go ahead and use her biggest move that we all want to go ahead and see. So she's going to come up like you're seeing this battle right here. I start my rotation off. This is the 5th time I've run through this. And every single time, by the time I get everything built up and I pull out and get her to the Fleurdelys form, she just nukes it, and I don't get to finish the final death blow that nukes them entirely. So that is one of the problems that you guys are going to run across with her. That is a problem with her kit, that she is too powerful, which is actually a good problem to have. I kind of left that one in and everything else for you Wuwa haters out there to actually see what a balanced game actually looks like. And this is a really awesome character, but the nice thing is, even though that she goes ahead and pops in, she's able to go ahead and stay in that form and swap in and out. So you can enjoy the mommy form, as people keep on calling her, or the little girl form. So either way, I think she's an excellent character. You get 2 different looks, which is awesome. And she's a very powerful character, and she's going to go ahead and boost other characters in the future and everything else, particularly if you can go ahead and get her up to S4. So not only is she strong, she has the actual potential for a little bit of support as well. I'd also like to let you know, I also do open world showcases that are set to Billboard hits and music. that showcases the characters in idle animations where I don't talk. In this video, I'll go ahead and wrap it up with showcasing the open world, a new area, what Cartethiya looks like, as well as what some more idle animation poses look like. I added a final battle where you also see Fleurdelys' final form where she drops her nuke, as well as her Ascension lines, along with the natural music that came along with the game. So hit that like and subscribe, check out my other videos, and I hope to see you guys soon.
Looking for a place to stay?
I can fly too.
We want the Berserk Beast!
Berserk Beast? What's that? A cheap knockoff of the great Beast goodies!
How dare you!
Time for a little nap. It's just a dream. Today's story is the great battle between a righteous knight and the wicked Drenodian. And the victor is Cartethiya the Knight. Oh, smells so good.
Do you remember that gloomy gladiator from decades ago? The young girl from Laguna. What was her name?
There've been so many from Laguna. Which one are you talking about?
Mind the tempo. Tuning in.
Roll for me! Perfect backup. Perfect chord.
Listen, the trio of destiny.
True form.
Revealed at last. Sounding the death mark.
Be gone, wicked souls.
Shadows must be purged. Windstorm. Sweep all the way.
Move! Fruit of ambush! A perfect chord!
Solar time.
You won't! Such is their pace.
feel it. The frequency of the wind. It's resonating between us. The power to split and merge matter. My swordsmanship has reached new heights. The power to split and merge matter. The power within me once terrified me. I wondered how monstrous I'd become if it consumed me. But such terrors have started to fade, with you by my side. The currents of fate pull everything into their depths. At times, as I drift in its grasp, I sometimes feel resistance. Everything I once achieved, every ounce of trust I earned, was consumed by the Threnodian. How ironic that the power I gained to protect others once served to sustain my nemesis. But I know I cannot let this fear hold me back. The Sentinel granted me life, and I must honor that blessing by guarding all that remains in their stead.